Hello, you're at the home of Brad and Connie Meeder in Hebron, Indiana. And we did an installation of Thermosoft flooring here in this room. It was a 3 seasons room and we wanted to be able to use it year round, and we're looking for a way to get heat back here. And somebody had mentioned underfloor radiant heating, so I did some investigation online and came upon Thermosoft's website, gave them a call, spoke to Doug Herman there in customer service, and he talked me through the process a little bit of what the product was like. We talked about the room dimensions, what amount of heat we'd need for the room, and settled upon 6 3x10 pads for this room. And they're laid out this way across the room as you go down. So I placed the order and it came promptly within a couple days and went through the installation process. The intention was to have a good long film of the installation process. We ran into some camera difficulties, so as you'll see, we didn't quite get the shots we wanted until later on in the installation. But we hope you enjoy the video, and we'll show you how our installation went. Yeah, I was going to do stuff.
All right. Do you want the heater on?
What?
Aren't you cold?
No. Okay, professional camera person. You know, Connie, I gotta hook up the install alarm so I can check the continuity, make sure the continuity is good during the installation, but I can't find the screwdriver. There's a little screwdriver that fits just right in these screws, and I put it some. I know I was using it before, and I can't find it anywhere.
Brad, look behind your ear.
No. Alright, so we're going to pick up with the actual installation now of the floor, because as you've seen from the earlier clips, they just show from when I finished speaking, because we bought a new camera for this purpose. You hear some noise in the background because it's just started drizzling and we just painted the door frame. And so we've got that covered with some plastic. But the floor is down now, and below it is the radiant heat, which you saw in earlier clips, because it was at the end of the clips. But here we are in the corner where everything's wired up. And you can see here that the install alarm, which is connected to the last 3 pads, which are right here, is still green, so we didn't nick any wires. We still have good continuity. And so now I'm going to take the install alarm off, and I'm going to do my last resistance check before hooking it up and turning it on. Alright, so we're going to do our last resistance check. Of course, we did one as they came out of the box. We did one after the flooring was all, the heating system was down. And now we're going to check them all one more time. And there's the first one. As I said before, I've got them color coded, and so I know which one is which. And the first one I'm checking is the black one, and there it is at 60.4, so it's great. Alright, so now we're working the thermostat, and I've done some of the wiring already, but just so you can have an idea of how the wiring goes in. This is the power coming from the box, And of course, as we saw earlier, or we may not have seen depending on how we filmed, we have a 20 amp fuse in the box that's just dedicated for this circuit. So it's running through the basement all the way back up here to the back porch, coming in here and on up and into these two, the middle two screws here on the back. Those are the middle two screws here on the back of the thermostat. Now I'm going to connect some wire which I've brought up from the box where all my connections come in to these two outside screws, and then that's going to be taking the load to the box down here. And you can see it's coming down through here, and there'll be a box here coming on down where it'll connect to all the 6 wires, which we've checked all their continuity, everything's good, and that'll go to the pads down here. Now on the front of the thermostat, as it goes in, you can see I've already connected, this is where the probe wires go, to the right 2 on the thermostat here, and that's going down. You can see it's through a different channel on the wall. It comes down here and underneath and then into the pad. And you can see there's 2 wires coming down here. That's because of course I have a spare probe, and that's coming out right here, just in case that the first probe ever went bad. I got the spare probe wire in here already, so if I ever figured out that I had a bad probe, I can just switch those wires out. I'll be good to go. And then once that's all together, the cover will go on the thermostat, we'll fire up the power, and we'll have the heat going. Alright, so the thermostat's all wired up, the wires are going into that box and connected to all the pads, so it's time to turn on the breaker. And of course, this is where we have our 20 amp breaker, and it's dedicated just to the underfloor heating. Alright, so the thermostat's on, and so now I've got to go through the initiation of programming it, and then we'll be able to enjoy the heat coming up from our floor. Alright, so now the installation is complete, and you can get a look at the room as it's finished, and we're enjoying the warmth back here. The folks at Thermosoft were great. I mean, during the course of the installation I had a couple questions, so I made a couple calls to their customer service and their technical support, and they were real helpful. The one time I had to get a call back, I was called back within about 10 minutes. So we're really pleased with the product, we're pleased with the way we'll be able to use the room, and we think it turned out great. So thank you folks at Thermosoft for your help, and we look forward to using the room for years to come. Hi, here at the home of Brad and Connie Meeder in Hebron, Indiana, and we're doing a project here. We have a room that was a 3 seasons room, but we wanted to get a little heat in it so we could use it all year round. And this is Lucy, by the way, the wonder dog. And so we were thinking of some different options of how to go about doing that, and I came upon the Thermosoft website. And I gave a call and talked to Doug Hansen there, who was very helpful. And as we talked about the layout of the room, it's about 13 by 19 feet in area. And talked to him about the type of insulation I already have in there. It's pretty well insulated.
Okay, she goes in the garage.